Chapter 16. Requiem's Door. Requiem sat silently in the dark as the last door crept open and shone a dim light into the main entrance. The only signs that there had ever been a horde of angry demons in the room were the claw marks they'd made in the walls as they tried fruitlessly to escape. Straightening his suit and walking towards the door, Requiem mustered himself. Once more unto the breach. The door closed silently behind him and merged with the rest of the room. Requiem found himself in yet more darkness. He stepped back to see if the door was still there, but it had gone, replaced by nothingness. He stood motionless in the empty room, wondering what to do. Perhaps that was the test, he thought, to survive boredom. As he gazed into the nothingness, hands in his pockets, the room suddenly gained a feature. In the distance was a bright green, smoky glow, and it appeared to be slowly, but surely, closing in on him. Requiem walked forwards to meet the light, relieved that he didn't have to survive boredom, as it was entirely possible he wouldn't make it. Before getting far, however, Requiem began to grimace. Ugh! Now that is bad breath, Requiem exclaimed, wafting his hand in front of his face. He continued no further and arched his back to keep his nose away from the repugnant smell. The bright glow maintained its steady advance, growing bigger and brighter. It did not take Requiem long to realise that there was a dark shape at the centre of the glow. He peered at it, trying to figure out what it could be, whilst keeping his nose as far away from it as he could. Are you a Komodo dragon? Would explain the rotten smell. Not a friend of Percival and Havoc, are you? Here to help? He called cheerily. A low, hissing voice replied. His name is Pathfinder. I too am a member of the Avatar's Guild. Requiem called back. The Avatar's Guild, eh? Sounds very menacing. I've seen how the other two can help, and was very grateful of it too. But you're strong. You're really strong. I've only seen energy signals like that come from a Kuma. You're not a Kuma, are you? Looking up thoughtfully, he muttered to himself, but a Kuma's signature is red. With a chilling hiss, the dragon replied, No, I am not a Kuma, though he knows me. I'm here to help, although you may not like it. I'm intrigued. Go on, replied Requiem with a raised eyebrow. As the dragon bore down on Requiem, he started to transform into his humanised form. He was a great deal larger than Havoc and Pathfinder, but every bit as lean and muscular. A scraping sound, like nails along a blackboard, caused Requiem to grind his teeth. It was the thick, sharp, curved black claws on the dragon's long toes scraping along the smooth floor with every purposeful footstep. The green light which haloed the dragon revealed that he held the same scimitar-like weapons at the ends of his enormous fingers. Like the other avatars, he was two-tone in colour. The front of his hugely muscular body was pale green, and the rest was dark green with an armour-like scaling. Unlike the others, he wore no clothes. If his size and his claws were not intimidating enough, even in his humanised form, this avatar had a tail which acted as an immensely long whip. The blade-like tip glinted in the light along with his claws. The dragon growled deeply, revealing hundreds of sharp, pointed teeth lining his long jaws. Strings of drool flowed from his mouth as his forked tongue tasted the air. His large oval green eyes, with their sharp black pupils, focused directly on Requiem. I am Devastator. My role is to keep wayward Akatsuki in line. Ask Akuma. He has felt the tip of my tail, and if he carries on, we'll be getting reacquainted. Backing away slightly, hands still in his pockets, Requiem replied hesitantly, I'm not sure how you can help me then. I'm firmly on the straight and narrow, thank you very much. Now, no distance away at all, Devastator stared down at Requiem. Sucking the world in on itself is not your typical straight and narrow behaviour, wouldn't you agree? Hesitantly raising a finger, Requiem tried to defend his earlier actions. True, but Geo showed me the error of my ways. I've strictly sworn off the whole world destruction thing. So, why are you seeking the fifth gate, Requiem? Aha, so there is a fifth gate. If there was, what then? Do you intend to release a conquering army unto this world? Is that what you want? No. Looking down at his feet, Requiem reflected. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I just want to know the truth, I suppose. Say you don't like it. Looking up at Devastator with a blank expression, he replied, I don't know. Let's see if you are ready for the truth, shall we? Devastator spoke no more and swiped at Requiem with his claws, flinging him across the room. Much like Requiem's monolith, there appeared to be no boundaries to the room, and he kept on sliding until he could stop himself. Requiem shot to his feet and thrust his hands in front of him, as if he was throwing a fireball. But nothing happened. Advancing on Requiem once more, Devastator spoke in chilling mockery. What's wrong? Lost your spark? Looking around the room, Requiem muttered, What is wrong? Then it dawned upon him, and he looked up at Devastator with a newfound respect. The air's a little thin in here, isn't it? How right you are. This is a near-perfect Akatsuki pacifier. It is a void with hardly enough air to breathe. There's nothing here you can convert. You're powerless. Devastator chuckled as Requiem dropped out of his stance. The sound of a whipping tail seared towards Requiem, who dived away artfully. This was quickly followed by a tirade of claws. You can't dance around all day, you know. Come on, fight back. Even if I don't hit you, you'll collapse through exhaustion soon enough. Matter. I need matter, Requiem muttered as he dove far away from Devastator. Requiem held open his coat and looked down. No, not the suit. It's a life or death situation, and, if I am to die, I must look the part. Leaping over his tail and ducking away from his snapping jaws, Requiem called to Devastator. Answer me this. If I suck all the air out of the room, will you die? Flinging his arms to his sides and arching his back, his jaws wide, Devastator laughed. I don't even breathe. I'm immortal. You cannot hurt me. You cannot stop me. Standing firm, with fire in his eyes, Requiem replied with renewed determination. Right. I'm glad this won't hurt, but I have to disagree with you over the last bit. Devastator whipped his tail at Requiem once more, but this time he did not move. Instead, Requiem grabbed it and absorbed the energy from the blow. What? Devastator screamed in disbelief as he rallied back. Infuriated, Devastator rounded on Requiem, slashing with his claws and pounding with his feet. All the while, Requiem stood there, unflinching, absorbing the energy of each impact. Seeing what Requiem was doing, Devastator backed off. Requiem could see that Devastator's signature had lost none of its brilliance. He seemed to have a limitless energy supply. You may be able to withstand a little physical punishment, but my bacteria will finish you off, roared Devastator as he charged Requiem, head bent low to deliver his killing bite. Just chill, will you? Said Requiem calmly. Requiem took his stance again. No ball of fire appeared between his palms. Instead, great swathes of ice sprouted from Requiem's back in vicious scimitar shapes, mimicking Devastator's claws, but much, much larger. Enraged at such defiance, Devastator sped his charge and yelled, his forked tongue writhing, his saliva flying everywhere. Requiem clamped his hands together, A wave of energy streamed across the floor, tripping the great beast. As Devastator slid towards him, Requiem sent his ice scimitars to meet the fallen immortal. Trapped in a large cage of ice, Devastator came to a halt mere feet from Requiem, who was standing there calmly, hands in his pockets as usual. This would not have been a problem for Devastator if it weren't for Requiem gently placing a hand on his nose to sap his power continuously. Peering down at Devastator's half-opened eyes, Requiem spoke. "We can stand here for an eternity if you like. You forever producing power, me forever taking it, just cancelling each other out." Hissing with laughter, Devastator rose slowly, shattering the ice as it sliced into his thick scales. Requiem put his hand back in his pocket and watched Devastator heal himself. "An interesting move," Devastator hissed calmly. "Thank you. Although this bit here wasn't part of the plan," replied Requiem, slight concern in his voice as he pointed at the smashed ice prison and its risen prisoner. "You still have a bit to learn, Requiem. You have great power, but, more importantly, you are beginning to wield it well. There were many worse fates you could have bestowed upon me, but you didn't. You didn't run. You didn't give up either. You did your best and endeavoured for a peaceful conclusion. The understanding you need will come in time. As long as you stay true, I don't think we will need to meet again in anger. Farewell, Requiem, and good luck." Devastator walked away, turning back into a Komodo dragon as he did so, and disappeared into the void with Requiem looking on thoughtfully. "Ha! Cool. I quite enjoyed that." The word "congratulations" came ringing into the void to let Requiem know he had passed the test. Light flowed in around Requiem to reveal an opulent hotel lobby with walls and floors of white and grey mottled marble. Comfortable red seats sprang into existence, dotted around the spacious opening, while a swooping marble staircase fell in step by step, curving around the wooden front desk. Suddenly Gio popped into frame, chewing on some food and looking bewildered. He was soon followed by Uracil in mid-swing, and Freya, who was rubbing lotion on her shoulder. "Gio! Uracil! Freya! We made it!" called Requiem rapturously with his arms held wide. Initially, they all looked confused and somewhat dismayed that they were no longer enjoying their individual pursuits. But on hearing Requiem's voice, they turned and realised they were together again. They ran towards each other and hugged. After a long embrace, everyone pulled back and all, bar Requiem, started talking at once, asking what the others had had to do at the same time as recounting their own tales. This cacophony of voices was short-lived, as Requiem tried to calm everyone. Gio was the first to speak with more composure. "I guess this means no more chicken, and the guys and me were up for charades later." "The guys?" asked Freya. "Who are you with? More importantly, what are you wearing, Uracil?" Looking sheepish, Uracil replied, "Oh, this. Yes. Well, I can explain. Never mind that. Where's Havoc?" "Oh, I wouldn't worry about him. I'm sure he's still with Pathfinder at the pool making waves." Smiling, Requiem said, "Just as well you left when you did. I found another one of their friends, and I'm sure he could do with a little sun right now." "Really? What animal was he?" asked Freya excitedly. "Pathfinder? Animals? What are you on about?" chirped Uracil. The confusion of voices rose once again as all four tried to speak at once, elated by their experiences and their triumphs.